It's called lazy light, and the principle of least action. But as a negative refraction index of time itself, so it's a reverse time and negative frequency resonance. It's coherent, but it's a non-commutative phase or non-reciprocal phase. So what this means is that at every 0 point in space, there already is a overlap of the future and the past as a pure frequency and time energy. And this is what Schrödinger first argued in 1944 with this book on what is life. As he said, it's the same power that causes the power of the sun through quantum tunneling as quantum entanglement, is that it's a negative entropy, or that what later was called negentropy. And then Bucky Fuller tried to call it syntropy. So this coherence, this quantum coherence, it cannot be seen because it's the future that's secretly guiding the light. And the reason it's called lazy light is because when they discovered light and going through different mediums, they realized that light always takes the least amount of time as the path. And so this is the most efficient path. And that's what guides the different ratios of the medium that it's going through. So it's also called the principle of least action. And what De Broglie figured out with his law of phase harmony is that this same principle works as a negative refractive index of time itself, so that he called it the pilot wave. And the reason we can't see it is because it's it's a phonon, or a zero, what they call zero sound. And so there doesn't have to be any physical medium. It's just inherent to the vacuum of space itself, but it's what they call the dark energy. It's the acceleration of the universe. And so there's this causal paradox of how can you see the future when you're looking at the acceleration of space, and how it's resolved is the same way the information paradox of black holes are resolved, so that the information is entangled with the white hole as the future energy, and since it's entangled, it's also coherent, but we can't see the coherence, and so it's said, since we can't see it, then we have to say that the information never actually enters into the black hole, that instead it's just like the black hole is just a realm of pure time due to the singularity of a logarithmic singularity of the space. And this is what De Broglie called the inner clock, is the frequency of gravity, so that before gravity is measured as a logarithmic or inverse because it's non-commutative, then it's inherently coherent as a balancing. And this is why they say that the universe actually has zero energy. It arises from a quantum phase shift of time itself. And so another way to say this is there is no real repetition, because there's the time, it's not a wavelength, so there's no symmetric spatial measurement as a logarithmic wavelength. Instead, there's just an eternal listening or logical inference of the future balancing the past, and that's what the present moment is this eternal motion. And so this happens inside our bodies through the microtubules in the tubulin. So in the tubulin you have alpha and beta tubulin, and they're phase shifting, but they overlap with each other. And so when they overlap, this creates the quantum coherence. And it's because of the Casimir effect. So that because they're close enough together, then they are pushed towards each other, because the energy is more outside than inside, because the wavelengths get excluded on the interior. And so it creates a negative refractive index, it's called a subwavelength of light. So you have an external standing light of the microtubule as a wavelength, and this is what stores enables the energy to be stored. But what powers the energy is what they call evanescent light, or virtual photons in the future. And essentially, because it's a refractive index, it's bent backwards inside the tubulins, and when they overlap, then the bending backwards of as a negative frequency then cancels itself out. With the other one as a quantum tunneling, but since it's a static microtubule, then it stores the information, and then it's considered to be along a macro quantum coherence, so that if the one tubulin gets damaged, then the same information is still passed on through this acoustic And this is how the color gold works in quantum chemistry. Is the gold that we see is because the blue light is absorbing the virtual photons from the future. And so it's a combination of the microtubule acting with the tubulins, and then also the water is a pumping as the yin qi energy, and that will create more quantum coherence as an external pressure on the microtubules. But it doesn't require the water, but that will increase the effect, and that's why doing the standing active exercise